Welcome back to the Purple Pod here on KSU Nation on YouTube. I'm Stevie B.
And I'm Kenny G.
And in today's episode, we're going to be breaking down K-State at Colorado, picking the Big 12 games for Week 7, and talking some college football news that just came out today. Kenny, before we do that, though, I think there's something going on with our channel that we need to have people check on, right?
It's really crazy, Steve. Every time we talk about this, it's like we have like over thousands and thousands of views on our videos and our live shows, but we only have 500 subs. That is like really, it's confusing. I think there's got to be something wrong with our subscription button, because I don't know how everybody is watching these videos and not subscribing. This is top tier content for Big 12 and K-State content. How can you not subscribe to this channel?
Yeah, so go ahead and click that subscribe button just to make sure it works, because it feels like it's not working for some people. So go ahead and click the subscribe button. So
we bring the heat. We bring the heat. And it's going to get cold pretty soon, so you want to get the heat.
Absolutely. Cats by freaking 90, baby. Let's go. We're going to break it down. K-State at Colorado. Before we do that, though, there was some news that just came out today. We need to talk about this first, because I'm going to clip this out. This is really important news as it relates to college football. I sent you the message about it. I know you read the article. I'm going to bring it up right now. It has a really funny name, actually. Is it showing? There it is. What is the Rudy Project, man? What can you tell us about the Rudy Project that was leaked today by On3 and then CBS Sports at a bunch of other places? Kenny, how do you read into this whole Rudy proposal for college football?
Well, I had to kind of skim through it quickly because I had to do a soccer practice. So I couldn't really spend too much time reading up on it, but it looks like they're just kind of narrowing down all college football, top, Division I college football to just basically 70 teams that, that's all that matters. And everyone else has to just kind of be thrown to the wayside. That's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. I mean, what did we just witness last weekend when we saw Vanderbilt beat Alabama? Was Vanderbilt amongst the top 70 teams in the nation? I don't know.
Yeah, and
I don't think so.
This proposal does not mention teams by name, but if you can do some math and figure it out, I feel like you can kind of tell. So basically, this proposal talks about how they want to exclude. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm scrolling on the wrong thing here. So this new proposal would eliminate games against a current group of 5 and FCS teams, which everyone plays at least one FCS team right now to get, their players' confidence up, to get basically an easy win. And then usually everyone plays at least 1 or 2 group of 5 members as well. This would eliminate that. So this proposal talks about how they're going to do just 70 schools. So I think I figured out who the 70 schools are. We have 16 teams in the Big 12. We have 16 teams in the SEC. That's 32. There are 18 teams in the Big 10. That brings us to 50. There are 17 teams in the ACC. Brings us to 67. You cannot exclude Notre Dame. That brings us to 68. And then I think the final 2 teams, I would imagine, are Oregon State and Washington State to get us to 70 programs. Basically, what's happening here is they're going to do a bigger playoff format. They're going to eliminate all these games against these smaller schools, which is actually good for these bigger conferences and teams, because, I mean, I don't know what K-State is paying, let's say, SEMO to come to K-State, or whoever it is, KU playing Lindenwood, whatever it is. You're eliminating $1 million you're having to pay to get that team to come to your place. And instead, you're going to have a game against another power program. You're going to eliminate those Tulane games and play another power program. I think it's really good for college football. I feel like those smaller programs, though, are going to fight hard against this. As someone that's a huge K-State fan that like 15 years ago, I was super worried about being left out. I'm pretty happy at the point right now that it feels like K-State would not be a team that's left out. Now, again, they don't say who the teams we would be in all of that. But I feel like it's a good idea because it like I said, it kind of like puts us away from everybody else. And basically everyone has an opportunity to win a championship. Do you look at it that way, Kenny?
I think it just makes it kind of makes it seem more of like this is big boy football, you know. It's kind of like NFL meets like UFL. What is that? Like what is that other brand? We don't even know.
The XFL or the USFL? Yeah.
XFL. There you go.
Yep.
So maybe that's what they're trying to do. I'm not 100% sure. Um yeah, it is a lot of rumors, and who knows if this is actually going to happen. It seems like they're trying so many different things in college football, and rightfully so. I mean, college football is starting to get a lot of viewership, a lot of eyeballs on it, and it's becoming one of the most like exciting things to watch in sports entertainment. So I can see why they're trying to really like experiment and get this thing rolling, because obviously covering college sports has never been easier now because of, the technology becomes, cheaper, and it's easier to do that kind of stuff. And also all the streaming sites and everything has become a lot easier to broadcast this stuff. And so now you've got like a way to cheer for your team all over the world. So I'm excited to see what comes of it, but it does look like the NCAA football wants to narrow things down to like if you want these like big boy schools to just be competing. And I like what you said about K-State being solidified as one of those schools. You have to put them in there. Look, K-State won a Big 12 championship 2 years ago. We almost made it back again. We've had amazing
we have 3 Big 12 championships in the last 25 years.
3 Big 12 championships in the last 25 years. I mean, Texas Tech can't say that. And it's like there's, and then obviously this is just for football. I don't think they would do the same thing for basketball, because obviously
so football, I mean, that drives revenue like out the wazoo. This is definitely just for football. I mean, March Madness, you cannot change that. Everyone loves that. They love the upsets and all of that. But I wouldn't be surprised at some point if they went to that as well, because I mean, it's all about the haves and have-nots. You know what I mean? And I'm glad to see and say that K-State is one of the haves.
Yeah, and it took. I mean, that's thanks to Bill Snyder. That's thanks to Coach Kleiman. We're not going to mention the other one, but yeah. So I just want to leave it on that. These are rumors. We're not 100% sure how far this is going to go, but I like the idea. We'll just have to see if it gets through, and becomes a real thing.
You saw something last week that also talked about a 72 team Power 12 league, and you sent me a picture of it and all of that. It basically broke it down back into the old Big 8, the Texas League, the Southwest Conference, ACC, SEC, Pac-12. It basically put them all back, but then also like you could still play other teams, like Florida could still play Cal, and K-State could play Louisville or whoever it is, UCLA, whatever it is. So I'm interested to see what happens. There is a lot of people that are going to be upset about it. So we'll see what happens. But this is definitely big news that came out today. It has not been passed or anything. It's just rumors. Lots of ADs are talking about it. And like I said, I'm happy to see that K-State right now is one of the haves. And because you definitely don't want to be an outside looking in. Imagine if you are, I don't know, one of these other schools and you're super worried about it. K-State, we're not worried about that.
So okay, now that we got that out of the way, Steve, the week is finally here. Now, I can't wait for the chat to just start lighting up the fiery comments as we get through this entire live show. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. We have K-State Wildcats coming up against the Colorado Buffaloes.
Dude, I'll tell you what, these Colorado fans, They are lighting this up in the comment section and in the live streams, man. And good for them. And I'm excited to see K-State play Colorado again because I grew up watching K-State versus Colorado. I went to many games for K-State versus Colorado, and it's nice to see the rivalry renewed. And their fans are excited, as they should be. They have two really good players. I feel like K-State has a better team. This is going to be a fun matchup and fun game. And, shout out to anyone that watches us and comments on our videos. And again, we're checking to see if our subscribe button is working. Go ahead and click it just to make sure it does. There's been some issues with it. We got thousands of people watching, not as many subs. We need to get up there in subs. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. So, Kenny, what's your initial thoughts here of K-State versus Colorado this weekend? I'm excited, dude. I don't know if you can tell my voice. Super excited about this game.
Yeah, I think my initial thoughts are it's funny how these Colorado fans think that their team has arrived. It's just like they are like, we have finally and officially arrived, and they feel like they're the top. They're like the top school in the Big 12. We kind of went over our power rankings a couple days ago, and you and I placed Colorado a little bit higher than you did based on their record mostly, and just how they were able to score against specifically the UCF game was a little bit impressive. And I don't know if that's Colorado overperforming or UCF underperforming or a little bit of both, but to have these fans come in and just they think that like they've already won the Big 12. It's kind of funny. They need to understand. I've seen a lot of comments how Colorado's going to beat the brakes off of K-State. They're going to blow the doors off of K-State when we come in. A lot of games. Actually, I want to give Tim Fitz some credit here because I heard him say this. Over half of the games in the Big 12 are won and lost by one score. That's how close these games are in over half of the games historically. And so these games all come down to the wire, and they don't always, they're not like blowing the doors off of teams usually. I mean, that's a rare thing. So, or at least it only happens like maybe half the time in the league. The other half, they're really close games. So one other thing that I want to say before I hand it off to you, Steve, is that I watched Coach Prime's interview, and I thought it was really interesting. So I watched both the coaches' interviews for the upcoming week, and there were lots of questions given to Chris Kleiman about Colorado, about their players, about their team, about where does he see the strengths and weaknesses on our team versus Colorado. And there were zero questions to Coach Prime about K-State. Zero. There was literally only one at the very end of the interview where they asked about Dylan Edwards. Like, oh, what do you think about Dylan Edwards? And Coach Prime's response was, oh, I didn't know they were called Dylan Edwards. I thought they were called K-State. I didn't know we were playing Dylan Edwards of Manhattan, Kansas.
No way did he say that, dude.
That's what he said.
No way.
That's what he said.
Mr. Eight Toes, that's what he said?
That's what he said. So, like, all of the questions that were directed to Coach Prime were all about how great his team was. Oh, how awesome is it to see that Travis Hunter might be a Heisman, or what do you like, how good is your son doing, and all this, like, it's all about like, what do you think about how great this offense is doing, or all this defense, and blah 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 blah. And it was just like they just kept talking about their own team. They
culture,
weren't,
man. It's college football culture, and they don't have it, dude. They do not.
They didn't have any regard for K-State whatsoever. Now, I will say at the very end, Coach Prime did say, after he said, he goes, we're not playing Dylan Edwards University, we're playing K-State, and they're a darn good football team. That's what he said. So he did acknowledge that we're a darn good football team. But I think you need to give a little bit more respect to K-State. I think this game is going to be won in a very cliche way, which a lot of people say, and we'll get into it later. I don't want to reveal it just yet, but I do think that K-State has the edge in the way that I believe that they're going to win the game. So that's my initial thoughts. But yeah, and greetings from Germany. I've been there before once. Greetings.
So my initial thoughts are very similar. K-State's got culture. Colorado doesn't. I think Colorado has two of the best players. I said this earlier in all of college football, if not the front runner for the Heisman and Travis Hunter. Robbie Schultz agrees he should win a Heisman hands down. I do agree. Their quarterback might go in the top 5 in the NFL draft. He is amazing. But last I looked, this is a team sport. And when I looked at some stats, when I looked at film, the eye test, K-State is better. K-State's better coaching. They have better special teams. They're a better overall team. Now, Colorado has a very, very good passing game. And we'll break that down here in a little bit. But I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of these Colorado fans are delusional. And I'm going to read off 2 comments here, and then we're going to get into this. This is from D3 Mist 0 Klesky 12. We're going to beat the brakes off you guys this week. Hashtag we coming. Hashtag SCO buffs. Interesting. I mean, I don't agree with that. And I'm going to come back to that comment on Sunday if K-State wins or if they lose. Either way, we're going to come back to these comments. Someone is going to be very happy or very upset. And then this is from Jeremiah Henderson, 5492. Stevie doesn't understand matchups. CU matches up better against K-State. You're losing credibility. By the way, he spelled "you're" wrong because you're letting your hate blind you. And I can't wait to see your reaction when y'all, without a exclamation, without a
apostrophe,
without an apostrophe, I can't even say it right. Lose. So yeah, these fans are coming in hot, and like I said, we appreciate the views. This is gonna be a fun game, a rivalry renewed. We hope to have Brian Hanley here on the pod this week. Unfortunately, it did not work out. We're hoping to get him on next week. I know he's got to be pumped to play Colorado again. He grew up in the old Big 12, playing Colorado every single year. It's gonna be a fun game. I like K-State's chances, man. I really do. Let's go ahead and get into this. Oh,
yeah, really quick before we get into it. I was in Germany. I was singing in a men's choir. I went to this, I can't even remember the town. I was 16 years old. I went to this town. It was like a medieval town. It was like super crazy. But we like stayed outside of the town. And then when we got in the town, it was like all medieval. There was like stone roads. It was like you were like inside of a castle, like town. It was like really cool. And then of course we went to the airport. We flew out from there. But anyway, one thing I will say before we get into any of it, this is kind of cool, Steve. And I talked to you about this before. One thing I will say, Coach Kleiman, in his wildest dreams, do you think that he would ever have a chance to walk across a football field, shake Deion Sanders' hand, and say good game or, well played or whatever? That, I mean, in his whole life, Coach Kleiman, I'm sure, saw Deion when he was playing in the NFL and was probably a fan of his or acknowledged his greatness. But I mean, this goes for every coach that Deion plays. I mean, it's not just, like K-State's coach might feel this way, but every single coach that Deion plays. But now we get to finally see our Coach Chris Kleiman. Imagine what he's probably thinking. Like, wow, like what are the chances that I'm going to be able to shake the hands of a former NFL superstar after this game is over, win or lose? I mean, that's kind of a cool thing, just, competitiveness aside, win or lose aside. I mean, I just think that aspect is really cool and should be, should at least be acknowledged. I mean, that's kind of cool just from a fan perspective.
Yeah, and we have some people here. I want to talk about this really quickly. CU has the toughest defense K-State has played to date. It's like this guy's never heard of BYU, like at all. Like, come on, brother. Come on, brother.
Tulane?
So, first of all, Colorado's defense ranks 88th in the country in total defense. Actually, let's just bring this up. Let's go ahead and bring it up. This is time
We're going in.
We're going
in.
straight in here because this guy's he does not know what he's talking about. Check this out.
We're going in here. We're going in.
Okay, here we go. Scoring defense for Colorado, 62nd. Total defense, 88th. Passing defense, 82nd. Rush defense, 80th. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. Okay, as you look at these stats here, the lighter color means a team has the advantage. The darker color means they have the distinct advantage. As you can see here, based off the stats, K-State has the advantage almost everywhere. Specifically in offense, K-State's rush offense, 7th in the country, 80th rush defense for Colorado. K-State's going to pound the ball all night at Colorado. Sam, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? What is he talking about, Kenny?
Well, the thing that is like really, it's kind of cool though. If you think about this, this is really, really cool. Rush offense were 7th in the country, and their passing offense is 9th in the country. So it's going to be the classic ground versus air. Now, I think K-State is going to do a lot better showing of ground versus air than UCF did. UCF gave up 4 turnovers. They outgained Colorado, but they gave up 4 turnovers. Okay, that's the very important thing. We saw what can happen when we do turnovers. We literally had that's what happened to us in the BYU game. You know, we gave up too many turnovers, and you know but we were outgaining BYU on every single drive. Here are my concerns, Steve. Chris Kleiman is 1-4 in games after the bye week. That is concerning.
How many times though were those road games versus ranked teams though? Is what I want to know. A lot.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But you could argue, Steve, that Colorado deserves to be ranked over Michigan. I mean, I've even heard you say that in our power rankings, that like our power rankings live show, Colorado should definitely be ranked over Michigan. You know, but nonetheless, it still is a road game. It's a night game. What happened when we played against BYU at night? Now, you could say, well, K-State maybe wasn't prepared. Maybe they didn't do the right things. It was a lot of mistakes that happened that game. Maybe they learned a lot about preparation, about what they need to do going into this game, since it's a night game. We're talking 9:00 kickoff time. That's insane to me. And then again, the elevation difference. That's also another factor. So we're literally doing almost the exact same game. If it's not Utah, it's going to be Colorado, and it's almost the same kind of environment. Elevation's up, night game, away game against a team that seemingly doesn't look that great, or at least wasn't predicted to be that great.
They remind me. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut in here, but they remind me of the old Josh Freeman teams at K-State. Very good quarterback, very good offense, horrific defense. That's what they remind me of, dude. I'll be honest. Well,
and the thing is, Steve, they haven't proven that they have a significant rushing offense. I mean, they're 125th in the nation. They're very well known for their passing. I mean, that's what their quarterback wants to do. That's what Shedeur wants to do. He wants to throw the ball. He's going to stay in the pocket. He's going to be able to take a lot of pressure and deal with a lot of pressure. But again, I just want to say, Colorado, now we can go into our defense, but I think Colorado's defense, because we like to talk about K-State's offense first. Colorado did do they did impress me when they played against UCF, and their rush defense shut down UCF's rushing offense. That was impressive. I don't want to take anything away from Colorado for doing that. But again, I don't know if it's UCF or if it was Colorado, because UCF has been not playing very well. I mean, they only had what was it, like 100 something total yards against Florida or something like that is what I read. It was a crazy stat where like their rushing was horrendous, like nothing was going well for them. That's a lot. I think there's something going on with UCF versus Colorado. Now, again, I don't want to believe that Colorado's defense somehow is just like elite out of nowhere. They have to prove it to me this Saturday against DJ Giddens, against Exit 313, against Avery Johnson, against Joe Jackson, against our jet sweeps. They have to prove to me that they can handle a solid rushing offense, because winning on the ground is how we're going to get this done. And winning, and I know I told you that this is going to be cliche earlier in the show, on both sides of the football, offense and defense, is going to be won in the trenches. I know that's so cliche and you hear a lot of people talking about that, but that is quite literally how K-State is going to win this football game, specifically on offense and most definitely on defense.
Absolutely. And we are not casual football fans. We watch almost all the games. I've watched Colorado many times. I think everyone has, right? They've been on TV a lot because of Dion, and shout out to Dion for getting them on TV. Shout out to, Shadur and Travis Hunter and their whole team for, improving tremendously from last year to this year. I have been impressed with their defense comparatively compared to last year. I do still feel like that's a major weakness for them. They can't run the ball and they can't stop the run. I mean, that's the two things K-State does. And that's what you do when you try to win football games, is you try to make one team one-dimensional. And K-State has done that for the most part. K-State has ran the ball for 200 yards every single game this year, including last game, 300 rushing yards. Avery Johnson is mid? Come on, bro. He had 5 touchdowns last game. What are you talking about, man? I appreciate the engagement. I appreciate the watch. But you guys are lighting us up with some crazy comments, man.
It's I mean, I will say I appreciate the fiery comments, but it's borderline delusional to even say that. This is, again, a lot of hype is being built around 2 players on a Colorado team, and I think everybody is aware at this point that this is a game where it's 2 teams that go together, and I haven't seen Colorado really on all levels of the football, offense, defense, special teams. I think they have I don't think they all like fire off at the same time. I think like maybe they have a solid offense at some points of the game, and then their defense kind of comes together at the end and gets a good stop. But for a full, complete game of football, I don't know if I've seen that from Colorado. We've seen it from K-State several times this year already, to where we brought our like 3rd stringers out there. Our 3rd stringers come out there. Believe the numbers, my guy.
I got to get in here. Believe the numbers, my guy. How many of these does K-State have the advantage on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What about Colorado? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10-6. K-State has the advantage everywhere. Look at K-State's offense compared to Colorado's defense, and that's what we're talking about really right now. K-State can do whatever they want on offense. They really can. I watched Colorado's game against North Dakota State. I understand they've gotten better, but North Dakota State should have won that game. Let's be honest. They should have won that game. They did whatever they wanted on offense. A lot of teams have against Colorado. Nebraska did. Baylor did. This is a good matchup for K-State, and I'm loving this engagement. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, tell your friends and all of that. But man, you guys you calling us delusional? My God, these comments, man. These fans, woo-wee, dude.
We knew that this show was going to be fiery today, because it was fiery from the moment that week 5 was over. like they knew, like after they had won their game against UCF, they immediately came to this podcast and started lighting us up. So it's going to be interesting. I think Colorado does not pay attention. Colorado fans, or should I say more? I should say Prime fans don't watch anything except for their, biased, their biased uh, podcasts, that talk about how great Coach Prime is and how great he's turned around the school. Listen, I grant you that, like, he's turned around the school a lot. I mean, lots of eyeballs going to that school, people showing up to games. That's amazing. I love it. I think it's great for the Big 12. And again, rekindling a rivalry that has been a rivalry that has happened in the past. I love it. I want to see more of that.
This is exactly what we wanted, man, when Colorado came back into the league, is this fiery rivalry coming back, dude. But yeah, I mean, if we're looking at the K-State defense, because everyone's talking about the K-State defense here, they shut down Tedero McMillan for the most part. I mean, they shut down that passing game. Arizona's got a great offense. They only scored 7 points against K-State, right? K-State can stop the run. I mean, look at this. Look at K-State's defense here. They have the advantage in scoring defense. Total defense.
Are we gonna just talk about the K-State defense here? Because this is what no one wants to talk about. Colorado's defense. Nobody wants to talk about it because they have like maybe a linebacker that's special, and then they have Travis that's special. Nobody, I mean, they're not going to blitz Avery. No one's going to touch Avery. They're not going to get a sack on Avery. Their defensive line is going to get handled by our offensive line. I mean, there's probably going to be so many gaps. We're going to wear them down. DJ Giddens is going to be running over people. Dylan Edwards is going to be putting the moves on him. Avery's going to be putting the moves on him. We're going to literally do whatever we want on the ground. It's going to be pathetic. You guys can blast me in the comments all you want, but K-State is quite literally going to do whatever they want on the ground against Colorado. No one wants to talk about Colorado's defense. You want to know why? Because all they want to do is just point out that they've got Shadur and they've got Travis Hunter on offense. That's all they want to point out, is that they've got this great offensive 1-2 punch. And congratulations, but guess what? I don't want to be the one to tell you guys, but it kind of sounds like you're one-dimensional. And guess what? If everybody in the world knows you're going to be throwing the ball, we're going to load the box and we're going to blitz you and we're going to make you have to throw short passes, because there ain't going to be no way. There's no way we're going to allow Shadur to have all the time in the world to throw these balls. Now, we saw what happened when you guys went against Nebraska. Nebraska ain't even that good. And all they did was play 4-2 defense, 4 up front, 2 linebackers, and they just blitzed you over and over and over. And you guys couldn't do anything. You guys could do literally nothing on offense. And if you think that K-State is worse than Nebraska, you need to go back to the film room and watch a little bit more games on K-State.
Here's what I'm looking at here. There's 2 things I want to talk about here before we give our prediction and all that, because we'll be here all day looking at all these comments. Y'all are idiots. That's all you'll be allowed to do. Blah blah blah. Okay. Colorado has given up 18 sacks, good for 128th in the country out of like 130 teams. You guys' offensive line is not good. Now, I understand. I feel like Shadur is still holding on to the ball a lot and not throwing it away or throwing interceptions because he wants his completion percentage better. But K-State gets after the quarterback, man. 12 sacks already this year, good for 34th in the country. That is a major difference maker in the game. And also, one thing people don't talk about, penalties, man. You guys are super undisciplined, 8 per game. K-State saw that against Arizona. They were averaging 9 or 10 a game, and it was a huge difference maker. It changed a whole bunch of possessions for Arizona. It's going to change a lot in this game as well. K-State is definitely the more disciplined team. This is going to be a fun game, and I appreciate all the comments, like we said earlier. But, dude, K-State's defense is going to eat. They're going to eat when it comes to getting after the quarterback, Kenny.
It's just funny. Like, I know you guys have these listen, it's all about this like flash versus like disciplined football, and just like this team that just like is blue. It's like blue collar versus like Hollywood, like this is kind of what this game is kind of turned out to be. And you can talk highly about Shadur and Travis, and rightfully so. They are very talented players, but unfortunately There's 9 other players on your offense that you have to worry about. And I sound like an 8-year-old kid. All right, fine, I'll take that. I mean, it makes me feel more youthful. Okay,
This reminds me of like playing video games online, dude. Everyone is talking smack.
They're finding like personal insults because they can't deal with the fact that they're gonna get run over. Their team is gonna get run over, so they have to resort. They have to resort to personal attacks. Making fun of my face, my voice. I mean, it is what it is. I love it either way.
Can I throw out a stat really quickly here?
Go ahead.
Colorado ran the ball for 16 yards against Nebraska. 16 yards the whole game, dude. 16 yards. Oh my God. And people are laughing at K-State. Are you kidding me? 16 yards for the entire
How many carries? How many carries?
Oh, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and share screen this because this is so funny, dude. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
this is amazing.
Man. Can't even get 2 first downs with that many yards.
16 yards on 22 attempts. Oh my God.
Point
this is the team that's going to beat
7.
K-State. Are you kidding me?
That's the team.
That's the team? No way, dude.
If everybody knows you're going to pass the ball, then everyone is going to plan for that. Are you kidding me? There's no way. There is no way. Oh my goodness, man. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
I know, dude. I know. Okay, let's go ahead and get it.
BYU actually has a legitimate freaking defense for one, and for two, there were turnovers. And yes, it was an away game. The kickoff was at 10 o'clock at night. A lot of factors came into it, which I am worried about for this game coming up. It's almost the same exact conditions. It's a night game. It's away. It's against a team that seemingly should be easy for K-State to roll over. It's the elevations higher. All the factors that I was worried about in the BYU game, which actually might have been a factor as to why they lost, and that we were settling for field goals the entire time. We were still up. You realize how fluky this sounds? And how many minutes was it, Steve? Like 4 or 5 minutes? They went up like 27 points.
It was 6 minutes.
6 minutes. 6 minutes, 27 points. That does not happen.
K-State had way more yards and way better efficiency offense. It was just ludicrous turnovers. So
ludicrous turnovers, uncharacteristic turnovers. Like DJ doesn't fumble the ball. He fumbled the ball. Like, we don't want to get into BYU. If you want to watch our reaction to that, go back and watch our reaction to BYU. But I believe that BYU is a much better team than Colorado. I think they've already proven that. They played Baylor in a better game. They beat the brakes off of Baylor. What is this? At least we get blown out.
Is this not a blowout? I mean, is this not a blowout here?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, come on. I don't know, man.
That is a blowout. We'll
see. We will see. Okay, all right. We'll be stuck on this forever. Let's go ahead and get into our score predictions and hot takes. We first have to look at the College Football Insiders graphic. Shout out to them for always creating this. You want a lot of blue, specifically dark blue, to see the advantage that you have, where you rank in efficiency, offense, defense, success rate, points, all of that. Red is bad. Dark red is really bad. As you can see here, based off of this graphic, again, created by collegefootballinsiders.com. K-State is a 61 to 39% probability winner with a projected score of 29 to 25, which is essentially the spread on the game. I don't agree with that. When looking at the stats earlier, these ones right here, I don't see how K-State is only favored by 4. I'm going to go ahead and jump the gun here. I'm going to give my prediction here first. I got K-State winning 34 to 20. K-State winning by 2 scores here. Now, I will say this. Their offense, specifically the passing game, is very good. Obviously, they have great receivers. Everyone talks about how good the receiving core is. Travis Hunter, Horn, all of them. very good receivers. There's going to be 4 to 5, maybe even 6 plays that Colorado is going to make that are just going to be like, man, that was insanely awesome and frustrating at the same time. They're going to make you frustrated for sure, but at the end of the day, I think K-State is just a better team. I really do. Like I said earlier, this team reminds me a lot of the K-State teams in the mid 2000s, the late 2000s with Josh Freeman. Great quarterback, great offense, not a good defense, not a great team. I got K-State winning 34-20. I'll do my hot take after Kenny gives his score.
My score is going to be 42-17. K-State wins. I mean,
oh my God, I love it.
I'm being straight up with you, man. I don't think Colorado is going to be able to stop K-State's run. I can't. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Dylan Edwards is going to play out of his mind. I think DJ Giddens is going to play out of his mind. I think Avery Johnson has finally found his footing, and he's just going to get more and more reps, and he's going to show why he is in the conversation for one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. I don't think he is the best at this moment in terms of passing, but by God, you guys are going to see firsthand. You're going to see it on full display how fast Avery Johnson is, how easy it is for him to get out of the pocket and run up the field, how easy it is for DJ to get 60 yards after contact, 50 yards after initial contact. I mean, yards after contact for DJ is like, how do you stop this guy? It's going to be, you guys are going to watch this and you're going to leave the stadium early. You're going to watch the rest of the game on your ride home, listening to the radio. That's what's going to happen. You guys are going to be demoralized after the first half. I guarantee it.
Time to get into the hot takes here. Make sure you guys subscribe to keep hating on us, like I commented in the comment section.
I'm usually giving my score predictions a little bit more favorable to the other team, but I feel like these guys need a big slap of reality into their face, and I think this score prediction is going to actually have to be the case. This CU Super Bowl. No, man. The thing is that Colorado fans I think Colorado fans and players probably already think that they've arrived. I think that they already think they're that team. They are that team. These fans don't even.
I love it.
Within 1,000 miles.
I love it, dude. Yeah, these fans live within 1,000 miles of Boulder. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know how many of these people actually go to games, but like we said, we appreciate anyone watching, commenting, all of that. Make sure you guys subscribe to make sure that button works for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Time to get into our hot takes. And I got some crazy hot takes. So, last game, Dylan Edwards touched the ball 10 times. I think he was in for 75% of the plays. DJ Giddens went for almost 200 yards. Here's my hot take. Dylan Edwards is going to score 2 touchdowns. DJ Giddens is going to score 2 touchdowns. And K-State's going to run the ball for 350 yards. Defensively, K-State's going to have 5 sacks. That's super hot take. That's why it's called a hot take, but those are some super, super hot takes from Stevie B.
My God, those are boiling. Those are boiling take. But the K-State hot take from Kenny G is that the offense, we're going to see DJ Giddens with 3 touchdowns. And he himself is going to rush over 200 yards. He was almost there last week. I think he's going to do it this week. I think he's going against a much easier defense, in my opinion, of course. And then on defense, I believe that we are going to hold Colorado to 0 points in the first quarter, and we're going to hold them to just maybe a field goal in the second quarter. I think that's going to incorporate a lot of turnovers. We're going to have 2 fumbles caused by sacks. 2 fumbles caused by sacks.
Love it. Absolutely love it, man. Yeah, I mean, this comment section is blowing up. We cannot get through this quick enough, man. This is crazy, dude. But I love it. I freaking love it. And yes, we will go live either right after the game or sometime on Sunday. I know Kenny's got lots of stuff going on, but we're definitely going to try to go live. We should be watching the game together at my house on
Mhm.
Saturday night. So it should be a fun time for sure. So
Keep this energy up, Colorado fans.
keep that energy up.
I
Yes.
really appreciate the rivalry continuously going. But if you guys think that you can run for 16 total yards against Nebraska and think that you have any shot at an offensive edge against K-State, wow. Okay. We've already gone against a team that is very similar to you, and that was Arizona. They have a really good quarterback, and they've got arguably the best wide receiver in the nation. We shut them down. They were held to only 7 points for the whole game. Tell me that you guys aren't just like them. I think that their rushing offense is still pretty good, but tell me you guys aren't literally just like them. Seriously.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to get into one thing here, and then we're going to break down the Big 12 Week 7 picks. First off, K-State's won 9 and 10 games the last 2 years. Guess how many times Colorado has won 9 or 10 games in the last 18 years? In the last 20 years? Actually, in the last 22 years. Just take a wild guess.
2 times.
Once. K-State has more 9 and 10 win seasons in the last 2 years than Colorado does in the last 20. So I just want to put that out there. Just want to put that out there for all those Colorado fans talking crap on K-State. K-State's in a good place. The program's in the right place. Colorado's not ready for this yet. They're not. Should be a fun game. Still got K-State winning.
I believe Shedeur is better than Fafita, but I think that T-Mac is better than Travis Hunter. In just what?
Absolutely.
Just a receiver. Calm down, Colorado fans. As just a receiver. Now, obviously, you taking the fact that Travis plays both sides of the ball. Yes, he as an all-around player, he is better. But as just a sole receiver, I think T-Mac is better. And you know what? They get to play each other, don't they?
I think so.
They actually get to play each other, and I cannot wait for that because I think that's going to be – it's literally the same offense going against each other.
This guy says he doesn't think K-State has 5 sacks all year. K-State is 34th in the country with 12 sacks on the season. So
there's the evidence right there.
Yeah,
12 sacks.
Yeah.
And you guys have allowed 18.
18.
You have allowed 18 in 5 games.
Yep.
3 sacks a game.
Cool. No one cares. Okay, let's go ahead and move on here. Time to get into the Big 12 Week 7 picks here. This is tough, man. This is real tough. Oh, shoot. These Colorado fans are coming in hot. Okay, Big 12 Week 7 picks coming up right now. Okay, this is a great weekend for college football. We're going to pick the Big 12 games this weekend and a couple other games as well. Late night on Friday night, Utah at Arizona State at 9:30 p.m. Utah favored by 6, over under 45.5.
This is the get-right game for Utah.
I don't know what to think about this game, dude. I don't know what to think about this game. What do you got?
This is a get-right game for Utah. Look, if Cam Rising is not on Utah, then it's a struggle bus for them. But I do think that Utah is still a solid team. I mentioned this almost every stream, but their defense is elite. So it's been projected to be elite. I mean, they do a really good job of keeping teams down, for most of the game, only allowing maybe 20 points per game, if that. That's like the max that you can get on Utah. So I do think that Utah does have the edge here. They probably win. If they don't have Cam Rising, they probably win with like 28 points to like 14.
I'm trying to engage with the chat by commenting, but also talking. We're not nervous, but thank you for watching and commenting.
No, come on. Come on. That burn was genuinely a good burn. No one cares. Come on. You have to admit that was a good burn. That wasn't nervously laughing. I was genuinely a good laugh.
K-State's got an NFL corner for sure. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. I think this is also a get-right game for Utah. I do not think Arizona State is as good as their record is. We talked about how they barely beat KU, and we have KU ranked as the last team or the worst team in the Big 12. I got Utah winning 38-17, hitting the over and definitely covering the spread as well. Great Friday night game to kick off the weekend in the Big 12.
Yeah. Then
What was your score again?
28-17 or
Okay.
28-14, 28-14. But I will say
Low scoring.
this,
Okay.
man. I wish Brian Hanley was on this show, dude. I wish he would have just
He would just
seen.
tell us to not look at the chat because, yeah. I really wish he was here too. He should be here next week to talk about the West Virginia game though. So,
And guess how many there will be if K-State wins, there will be 0 Colorado fans in our chat that game.
maybe. I
Maybe.
don't know, man.
I hope they are. Listen, I want Colorado to do well on the Big 12. I just don't think they're going to do well against K-State. And I'm going to say this about every team going forward. I want the teams to do well, but I don't want them to do well against K-State. And that's just the way it is.
These comments, dude.
That's a good burn. That's a good burn.
That's a good one. That's almost as good as them saying you sound like an 8-year-old.
But that's a good burn, though. That's a good burn.
But shout out to Kenny. He actually has the voice of an angel. He's actually a musician. Ken Savvy.
I am.
Check him out on YouTube. He's actually absolutely amazing. Actually, so
thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
I'm your number one fan. I have your CD in my car, and yes, I do still have CDs. Okay,
we're boomers, man.
I know. Okay, we talked about this earlier. Got to break it down here one more time. K-State at Colorado. K-State favored by 4, over under 56.5. I feel like the over in K-State on the spread is definitely the way to go here. Definitely the way to go. I have K-State winning. Actually, no, I'd have the under 34-20. And what was your score again?
Stat for DJ right there. Look at that stat.
83 carries, 604 yards. Yes, sir.
My God.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. You have, what was it, like 40 something?
42-17.
Okay. Heading to over, definitely covering the spread. K-State is just a better team. Shout out to Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter. Those two players are amazing. They'll go in the first round of the NFL draft. Hunter should win the Heisman.
It's just a team game, guys. Sorry.
It's a team game. And, we were handed the script before the season, Kenny.
Yes.
And it does not look good for Colorado, man. The gods and the script says K-State wins this game, man. It's just the way it is.
It said right there when we looked down at the schedule and we saw the K-State versus Colorado game, it just right next to it says K-State is going to blow the doors off of Colorado. I mean, that's what it said. We're going to go in, we're going to blow the doors off of Colorado.
Essentially, basically, the football gods said K-State is better. But, I will say this about Deion Sanders. He's the second greatest athlete I've ever seen. I put this in the comments earlier. Second greatest athlete to only Bo Jackson. Bo knows. If you guys know, you know. Okay, moving on. Cincinnati at UCF. This is a game between two middle to lower of the pack Big 12 teams here. I'm not sure what to think about this game. It is in Orlando. UCF favored by 3, over under 58.5. I feel like you got to hit that over, man. You got to hit that over considering the defenses on for these games or for these teams. Cincinnati gave up 44 to Texas Tech. UCF gave up 48 to Colorado. I mean, they're almost giving up as much as the over-under is. So definitely going to hit that over here. Kenny, what is your score projection here for Cincinnati UCF?
Steve, I think it's time to just jump off of the UCF hype train. I think it never even left the station, honestly. They went through their non-con and it was going. They made a pit stop and it hasn't started up again. I think Cincinnati goes in. I don't know what UCF is going to do against the Cincinnati offense. I think their offense is actually pretty darn good. And it's going to be, defense, like Cincinnati's defense is not the greatest, but neither is UCF's defense. So I'm going to go with the Cincinnati win here, even though they are going to UCF, but we just saw what Colorado did to UCF. I mean, UCF, for whatever reason. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I heard that Gus had lost a lot of players in the transfer portal. That was like some news that had came out. Like
Malzahn, Gus
yeah,
Malzahn.
yeah, the UCF coach. He lost a ton of players in the transfer portal. They don't even have their kicker, the boomer kid. Like he's not on the team anymore. He left. There's like a lot of players that
That is
dipped out.
true. Everything you're saying is absolutely true.
So
5 people in the last couple days have left the UCF program.
that's alarming, dude. That's
Yep.
alarming. So something's going on at UCF, and it's not the players. We know the players are super solid. I mean, Gus gets he gets so much praise for being such a great recruiting coach, but if the culture isn't there and the coaching isn't there, then I don't know what you're gonna do. So I think Cincinnati is just a better holistic team right now. I think they're playing it as a team better than UCF is. I think UCF is falling apart. So I'm going to say Cincinnati. I'm going to give them like 35, UCF 24.
I'm going crazy high on this because I feel like both defenses are absolute trash. I got Cincinnati winning 48-42.
Yeah, okay. I see that. I was thinking about that, but I'm like, yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. It's an away game for Cincinnati. We'll see. But I can see your score being like more realistic.
I mean, it's gonna be like the whole Cincinnati Texas Tech game. It really is. I don't know. Maybe UCF scores less than that because I mean, maybe Colorado did break them. Who knows, man? Who knows? So, okay, moving on here. 3:00 on Fox. This is going to be a fun game. Arizona at BYU. We're going to see if BYU is for real. Shout out to their
What time is this game? 3 o'clock? Okay.
3:00. Yeah, perfect timing because we'll be done with our volleyball games. So shout out to us, coaches of the year here.
Mm-hmm.
We coach our daughter's volleyball team. We are 5-1. Both of our kids are pretty good. Our team is really good as well. We should be done with our game by 2:00. Should be able to watch this game.
Yeah.
What do you got here, man? Does BYU keep rolling or does Arizona get the upset?
I think Arizona might get the upset here, Steve. I think they might actually get the upset. I think their win over K-State was a little fluky, but nonetheless, it's a dub, and you have a check in the win column, which you want to have. Their win over Baylor is looking worse and worse. Any win over Baylor, UCF, TCU, KU, any win over those teams is just looking really, really bad. I'll even throw Oklahoma State in there because Oklahoma State is another one of those teams. As anybody who wins on that, not impressive, as impressive, I should say. So, but Arizona, they're going to want to redeem themselves for a loss at home at their Big 12 opener against Texas Tech, against an embarrassing fumble at the end of the game. Also, Fafita throwing lots of interceptions. Yeah, man, we definitely need to. I think Arizona's going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. I think BYU that I think they're still that team that has they're rolling right now. They're rolling. Things are going well for this school. And sometimes like you could just be like Johnny Manziel and just be rolling, you know? You could just be rolling and just things just go your way in football games.
So what's your score?
I'm going to say Arizona wins this game. It's going to be, and I'm sorry, BYU, but I think Arizona's going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. I think they're going to have a lot to prove, but Arizona's going to come in and win 35-31.
I cannot wait for the I'm sorry BYU video part 2. Dude, this is actually the best comment ever, dude. Your daughters have the same record CU is going to have on Sunday. Congrats. Because our team is 5-1. No, K-State is going to have the same record our daughter's volleyball team come Sunday.
Yeah, you misspelled K-State.
Which, by the way, we have 2 games on Saturday. So by that point, we will be 7-1. Because I don't see us losing again, man. Our volleyball team is pretty good.
They're elite. They are elite.
Okay. Yeah, no, you are wrong here for picking Arizona. I don't know how you could do that. BYU, you had them favored as the number 1 team in the Big 12, so I don't know how you're picking against them. I mean, you laid out a bunch of things. I don't agree with any of it. I got BYU winning 31-17 at home. They keep things rolling. They get the 6-0. As I look to the back half of the season, man, I really hope K-State gets a rematch against them in the Big 12 championship. But yeah, I got BYU winning this game
I
by
want
2 scores.
BYU. I want BYU to win, but I just have like there's been so many upsets in college football, and I just feel like crazy things happen after bye weeks, and Arizona is definitely going to be coming in. Look, they already beat a Utah team, and they're going to have to go back to Utah again with a chip on their shoulder. I don't think they're going to. I mean, we saw what happened when they lost against K-State. They came and won against Utah. I know we talked about how they had 2 weeks to prepare for that. But again, BYU's, I guess you could say BYU's had 2 weeks to prepare for Arizona. So maybe you're right. Maybe BYU does win. But I'm gonna stick with what my original prediction was. And I'm gonna say that Arizona gets the upset. I haven't predicted an upset yet. So
I will say this: BYU's quarterback, Jake Retzloff. I mean, he's their entire offense. So at some point, he's going to have a bad game, and it's going to cost them because they have no one else that can do anything on offense. They have no one else. So they will lose at some point. It won't be Saturday. It will not be Saturday. Can't wait for that. I'm sorry, video.
Sneaky game here. Sneaky game.
Sneaky good game between a pair of 2-0 Big 12 teams. Iowa State at West Virginia. Which shout out to Mountaineer fans. They're already in our comments about this game, talking about how they win like 67% of the time at night games and blah, blah, blah. I got Iowa State winning this game. I think the Mountaineers are good, not great. I think Iowa State is pretty darn good. I got Iowa State winning 38-24.
You know, I just realized all the Texas teams are taking the week off.
Is it? I mean, is it too hot? Is it?
I don't
hurricane
know.
season? I mean, I know it's hurricane season, but who knows, man?
I just realized that not a single Texas team is playing this weekend. They all are colluding to take the week off. So Iowa State, they are historically a team that like takes a while to get better as the season goes on. But it seems like they're already at that level where they're pretty dang good. And it just seems like the games that they're winning, they're not really breaking a sweat in, which is actually kind of crazy. Like at no point when you're watching Iowa State do you feel like they're not going to win. So I think West Virginia might come out and punch Iowa State in the mouth early, but I think Iowa State might claw back in the game and actually pull out the dub. So I'm going to just say Iowa State 30 points, West Virginia 27. It's going to be a close game.
Yeah, and K-State plays at West Virginia the very next week at night as well. So maybe they go 1-1. Who knows? Hopefully they lose to K-State if they're going to lose. So, yeah, like I said, I have West Virginia losing by 2 scores here. Okay, we're gonna pick a couple more games here. This is going to be a look around the top 25. There's some good games, man. You said it.
Really good games.
Really, really, really good games. We're gonna pass by. Oh,
there's one.
Red River rivalry. Texas, Oklahoma. Texas favored by 14. That feels like a lot to me in a rivalry game. I know they're ranked number 1. Oklahoma always plays this game really well. I think I'm going to have Texas winning 38-31. Hitting it over, but not covering.
There is a world where Oklahoma can win this game. We're seeing upsets all over the place, man, and that's just college football in a nutshell. But I don't think the smart move is to pick Oklahoma to win. I just can't see it. Texas pick
them on the spread only, is what you're saying?
Or maybe I'll say they played a lot closer. I'll say Texas. It's definitely the over. I don't see how you can do the under here, but it's going to be probably Texas like 33, Oklahoma 24, probably.
I dig it. Yeah, and I mean, this is interesting that this is now an SEC game. That is crazy to think about. They were in a Big 12 forever. I mean, Oklahoma was playing games against K-State since like the 1920s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's wild how times have changed, man.
I know, dude. I know. Okay, moving on here.
Here's another one.
Here's 2 more. Ohio State at Oregon, 6:30 p.m. on NBC Peacock. Ohio State, Will Howard, favored by 3 points, over under 53.5. I
Wow.
watched Oregon last week against Michigan State. I was not impressed. They have not looked great all season. I don't see how Oregon would even come close in this game. I got Ohio State winning 30-14.
You put a lot of pauses in there.
You like that? You like that?
It's very interesting though. Will Howard going against his former teammate Kobe Savage. Oh man, the storylines there. I mean, that's kind of cool that they'll be able to see each other though. A lot of respect to both of those players. They actually did amazing stuff for K-State 2 years ago with helping us get to the Big 12 championship and winning the Big 12 championship game 2 years ago. Lots of credit to Will Howard. He's a great quarterback. I do think Ohio State is going to win. I just think you have a veteran quarterback like Will Howard, and he's got some dudes that he can throw to, man. It's really, really impressive. So I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, Ohio State does beat Oregon. I think they're going to, and it's crazy, dude. Will Howard going to be throwing against his old teammate. Oh man, that's a pretty cool storyline. Because Kobe Savage is a safety for those who don't know, and of course Will Howard is the quarterback. So opposite ends of the football, they're gonna be playing against each other in the game. It's gonna be really fun to watch. But Ohio State is definitely gonna win. Gonna have 35 points to I'll say like 21. I don't think Oregon's gonna get that many on them.
And we actually really do like Kobe Savage and his dad, and he was great to hang out with and interview last year here on the pod. Yeah, but he's not had the best season. I will say that.
Yep.
But yeah, it'll be number 18 versus number 5 Saturday night. I'm gonna pick one or
Ole
two
Miss
more.
and LSU.
Yeah, let's pick it. I don't think LSU is that good. I'll be honest. South Carolina should have beat them, and I think the Gamecocks are not very good. I don't think Ole Miss is the best either, but I like their offense a lot more. I mean, geez, their quarterback already has 2,100 yards. So
My God.
I'm going to pick Ole Miss to win 35-21.
Dude, they've got a guy on their team named Parrish.
They do. At running back.
That's
91
legit.
carries. That's a lot of carries already. Jeez. Especially when
carries.
Especially when your quarterback has 2,100 yards.
Man, their offense is just all offense.
I mean, Lane Kiffin for real, dude. Lane Kiffin.
My goodness. Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you about LSU not being. I think they're a little overrated. So yeah, Ole Miss, we'll take them. I'm going to give them 40, probably like 45, and LSU I'll give them like 28.
45-28, Ole Miss winning. And that's it. That's our picks for this weekend's college football games.
Man, this episode was a doozy, man. We knew going in this episode was my freaking screen is on fire right now, dude. The amount of flame that was coming through those comment section.
Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button to see if it works. We need a couple more subscribers. Actually, we need like 400 more to get fully monetized, but we did get to 500 today, which is awesome. Pretty soon we hope to have some super chats available. But we do want to get fully monetized because our views are popping like crazy. We just need more people to sub, man. We just do.
Yeah, we get thousands of views on a lot of our videos, but these subs are not coming in. And when you have content where you've got people saying that I sound like an 8-year-old and that Avery Johnson sits when he pees, I mean, where else are you going to get those kind of comments on other podcasts? You're not going to get it anywhere else. This is the Purple Pod. This is what we do here. We let everybody have a voice. We're not the mainstream the mainstream social media sites that try to monitor what you say. If it gets a little out of hand, we got to, block some stuff. But all this has been super fun banter. I love it. It makes the game more fun when you win. When you lose, it hurts a little bit more. It's just all fun. It's all fun in games.
Absolutely, man. And we like the engagement. We like the views. We like to hang out. We like to have fun. It's been phenomenal. I don't think you or I ever expected to be where we're at right now, in terms of views and people watching and hanging out. It's been a lot of fun, man. It really has.
Yep. They really have like rekindled this rivalry, and it's cool to see, man. It's cool to see.
I guess there's really only one last thing to say, dude. I guess there's just one last thing to say. And what is that?
Buffs, I hope you take a shit on Saturday. I hope you eat shit Saturday, Buffs. You suck. No. Go Cats!
Go Cats, baby. Email, baby.
Yeah,